What is up, fam? Welcome back to the Steep Stuff Podcast. I'm your host, James Lariello, bringing you another Broken Arrow 46K preview episode, this one with Miss Samantha Lewis. Super excited to catch up with Sam. If you're not familiar with that name, you absolutely should be. Sam was on the short course, Team USA in Chiang Mai for Team USA in 2022. She's also got a ton of experience at this race, having raced back in 2022 and 2023, just doing the one lap for the 23K and taking top 20 finishes in both results. Super stoked to catch up with Sam, learn a little bit more about her race, about her, and just the plans for what she's got planned for race day. So wishing her the absolute best of luck, and I hope you guys enjoy this one. Without further ado, none other than Miss Sam Lewis. Sam Lewis, welcome to the Steep Stuff Podcast. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Super excited to have a chat. Obviously, we're doing some of these Broken Arrow pre-race interviews and stuff like that, and it's kind of fun. Like, it's always nice to meet new faces and folks that I haven't had on the podcast yet. So you were definitely one of them, and someone I was very stoked to have a chat with.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. What's the stoke level for Broken Arrow? You're going to be running 2 laps around Palisades pretty soon. Like, how you feeling?
Dude, I'm so stoked. It's going to be absolutely insane. It's I mean, if you've been out to the Broken Arrow event before, like, it's a version of UTMB, right? Like the American version. So it's just, the excitement level is insane. The fields are out of this world, which is just so cool. And what better place to like line up with your friends and like just have a day out there.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. It's a little crazy this year. Like, it's nuts that it's, we have our selection races for Team USA, and then we've got the Golden Trail Series. Like, it's like all eyes are kind of on like the weekend this year. So it's going to be crazy. In fact, I just got some information that we'll see what happens with the VK, but like, it's supposed to be 100-mile winds at the top of the VK course on Friday. So shit's getting wild. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun weekend.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of years ago they had to change the 23K course because on Sunday the winds were just too sketchy up top. So that does happen, and then we got to glissade down the snow a couple of years ago. So they made it work, and it was great. But
yeah, they do. Fantastic job. All right, so getting into the race a little bit, or getting into your block and training and things like that. Like, how has it been going? How do you feel going into this race?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I've been in Boulder the last month training. This is home, so it was just really nice to just be back with the family, but then also to get to be here in the mountains. I live in Moscow, Idaho, and we do have Idaho's got an amazing trail system. I've done actually a very poor job of exploring Idaho, but Moscow itself has like a local mountain that's great. That's right there, and it gets up to 5,000 feet. But I think it was just nice to be in Boulder to have a little bit more specificity in my training, and I don't know, and it's like fun to just do some different exploring and everything, but feeling really good. The volume that I've put in over this last, like, all spring is the most I've ever done. And I've been healthy. I had like I pulled my hammy on a run at the end of April. I just superwomaned it a couple times and just finding my trail legs again, apparently. And so I had to take a week off from that, but rebounded really nicely, and everything's been pretty smooth since.
Oh, I love to hear it. It's always fun to hear, like, when folks are just like healthy going through, and I feel like it was a little bit weird, especially more on the front. I'm in Colorado Springs, so like on the Front Range, we had a abnormally warm kind of like abnormally warm winter. So there was a lot of year-round training for people, and I saw a lot of people get injured, including myself. And I was like, man, I got a little greedy. So it's always nice to see folks like have like successful builds and go into these races like healthy, especially now that the season's here. So.
Yeah, and I work with my coach is Travis Fleck, who's the director of cross country and track and field at Colorado Mesa University. He was at University of Idaho the last 10 years, and he was actually my coach at Oregon State. So we go way back, but he definitely, like, we work super well together, and the approach has been, there's longevity in their approach. So we've been working together now for 8 years, and I think he's just really smart. He's always thinking about what I'm doing, not just like today, but 5 years from now and everything. So that thankfully I'm the healthiest I've ever been since working with him. So that's also exciting.
Oh, I love to hear it. I want to pivot a little bit. I think other than David Norris, you might be the only on athlete that I've had on the pod. Yeah. Tell me about this new shoe that they just dropped. It's like the Cloud Ultra something or other. It's like the new Trail Super shoe. Maybe talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, it's the Cloud Ultra Pro. It's insane. I've been running in it now for, I think, a couple years. I think I first got it at UTMB a couple years ago, but I think it's going to change the game, if I'm going to be honest. Like, I mean, to be fair, I haven't run in a lot of the other like super shoes from the different brands, but it's pretty incredible. The shoe was designed specifically like with UTMB in mind, which is super cool. It like you can with between the foam and the plate and everything, like it's definitely a little bit of an adjustment because I think the stack height is like higher. And so if it's really techie terrain, like I think there's an aspect of like you just have to learn how to run in the shoe a little bit. Sometimes your feet go for a ride that you're not expecting. But once you kind of like have that learning period, it's like it's the only shoe I want to race in, the only shoe I want to run in. Especially when you get to like sections and courses that are super like flowy, flat. You hit the asphalt, and and sometimes in those points in the races, like you're just dead. But there's so much rebound in those shoes, like it's incredible.
That's amazing to hear. I'm excited to see them. I haven't like seen one in person yet, so excited to see one in the wild and see what they're all about.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
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 No, it's gonna be perfect for Broken Arrow, and yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
That's what I was gonna ask you. I would assume that sounds like it's gonna be the race day shoe. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's literally the only thing I use. So yeah.
Cool. Let's get into course specific stuff. I know you've taken a couple laps around Broken Arrow before. Based off of my research, you've only done the 23K. Is that right? Before?
Yeah. So This will be the first
two lap one.
Okay. First time doing 46K. Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I wanted more. I just wanted to do more.
Yeah.
One lap wasn't enough anymore.
More suffering, right? More suffering, the better.
Yeah.
Well, like it's interesting, these 2-loop courses. I know you've gotten technically you've done 2 loops before because what was it, 2023? It was a 2-loop because of the weather, right?
Oh, that is correct. Yes.
Yeah.
So we didn't go up high. So you're right. So I have done 2 loops, some version of 2 loops.
In theory, the only reason I ask is because these 2-loop courses get a little weird, right? It's almost like there's more strategy involved where the person leading the first loop might not be the person winning the race overall. Like sometimes there's epic blowups occur, and Broken Arrow is kind of like synonymous with epic blowups in a lot of ways.
Well, and when you add like a selection race to it and just all the hype around it, like you never know what's going to happen.
I fully predict blowups. It's going to be, especially like, I don't know, after commentating on Sunapee, I was like, damn, these people go out so hard, and like it's just crazy. Like it's just stupidly fast now, like up front at these races. Do you have any, like, what's your strategy? Are you going to like hang back on the first lap and then pick people off? Are you super aggressive? Like I don't know your racing strategy, or how you race. Some people are very aggressive and some people kind of hang back. Like, what do you like to do?
Yeah. I like to hunt down my prey. So I want to definitely save some for that second lap, but I think, and like you said, Broken Arrow is notorious for big blowups, and because it's a selection race and there's just a lot of hype, I think that could be a big factor. I think the biggest thing that I want to make sure that I do is run my own race, and I think sometimes when there's like, it's exciting, the nerves are probably high, people tend to maybe start making decisions that aren't based on their own like races. And that totally makes sense based on the environment. So I'm just going to try to stay true to myself, make sure that I'm very honest with my effort in that first lap, trying to run my own race, and then just make sure I have enough on that second lap because it's really fun running people down. And I think that's that second lap, that second climb is going to be, if you have some in you, it's going to be, you can make up a lot of time on that is my thought.
I think it's such a smart approach because, like, I think if you race it aggressively from the gun, it's like almost like a weird balance, right? Like if you don't put yourself in the race, then you're not gonna find yourself in the race. But also, it's like putting yourself just enough in the race to where you're not pushing too hard, but also like kind of hanging back enough so when those blowups ahead of you occur, you can just pick those people off. So it's that fine little dance.
Well, and it's hard now too because these races are so competitive, and they start so fast, and like I've been wrestling with like I don't want to watch the race like run away from me, right? Because sometimes if you're not in it, then you never get in it. So I've definitely kind of wrestled with that, but I've just decided that at the end of the day, like I kind of have taken some more aggressive approaches in some races in Europe over the last couple of years, and I got frustrated throughout the race just because it was I went out too aggressive and realized like I just kind of blew up a little bit. And so I think just for me to pursue my best on the day, I need to run within myself and be ready for some fun on that second lap.
So yeah, I think that's super smart. Definitely the way to go. It's funny. I was just thinking about like, have you ever raced a Cirque Series race?
Yeah.
It's funny, like those. I feel like those types of races. I did a bunch of them last year. Like taught me how to race in a lot of ways. Whereas like you have to put yourself in the race. If not, it will get away
Oh
from
yeah.
you. Yeah. And I was like, oh, maybe like putting too much of that into a 50K might cause blowups. I don't know. Like too much of that, like that aggressiveness. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with
Yeah,
that.
it's like
But
5 hours versus an hour, right?
yeah.
So,
So it's going to be kind of a cool day, from at least what the weather forecast is pointing to now. Like, what's the nutrition strategy going to be for you? And also do you adjust your nutrition for cool versus hot? Like, how do you approach that?
yeah, I would say I'm still like in the big learning phase with nutrition because last year was the first year that I kind of dipped my toes into like the 50 realm. So I am still on that journey of figuring out nutrition, but I think the biggest difference that I make between like cooler versus warmer climates is just like how much I'm like drinking. I wouldn't say that I drink like a ton of water to begin with, but if it's warm, I definitely do. So I won't change the nutrition plan as a result of it being colder. I just don't anticipate drinking as much water.
Okay.
So I think I'm still gonna start with two flasks at the beginning of the race, but I might only be changing out one halfway. I'll have the extra one there just in case.
Smart. Are you more of a belt person or a vest person?
Vest. And maybe
Really?
because well, I
Interesting.
love like On's vest is nice and like snug and just become one with the vest. But I I used to use like the naked belt and On has their own belt, but I just cannot figure out. I'm just not, I don't know, for whatever reason, doesn't work.
Interesting. No, that's
So
interesting. I didn't. I'm usually like a belt person. I've never. I don't know. I feel like I don't like being constricted. It's the constriction part. I don't know in a vest that kind of
no,
drives me crazy.
totally.
But no, I mean I think it's a smart way to go because you could just carry literally everything. It's just I don't know. I feel like you could make less stops. It's just more efficient to have the vest as well. Like there's definitely a lot of pros versus cons. Are you going to be crewed by anybody? Or is it going to be just a solo effort?
Yeah, so I'll have my parents are coming with me, which is like they're my cheerleaders and I absolutely love it. They travel all over the world with me, so super lucky on that front. And then my on teammate Meg McKenzie is going to be there as well. I mean, we have the whole on crew, but Meg's going to help as well. So Meg and my parents will be at halfway.
Oh my God, super cool,
So
super cool. I couldn't think
yeah,
of a better. Yeah, it's a cool way to go. All right,
yeah.
well, I got to ask the big question. What's the expectation? Like, what do you want to happen out of this race? Is it more selection for Team USA? Are you thinking more about podium, like, or chasing your best day? Like, how do you approach this?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing for me is and I work with a mental performance coach, Shannon Thompson. So, like, expectations is something that I think have honestly only gotten in my way in the past. And so, the way that I like to view all my races is that, especially now, because the fields are so deep and everyone is just so amazing. So, it's a super cool experience to be able to race like against the best in the world all the time. But I think it's just it's pursuing my best on the day and see how how everything shakes out. I do think that I'm in probably arguably the best shape of my life. I can't control what anyone else is going to do on the day. I can only like hope to like give my best effort. And if that's winning to 10th to 15th, whatever that is, if I cross the line knowing that I did everything that could on the day and pursued, the ancient Greeks use this term arete, which is to pursue one's personal excellence. And so that's something in like my PhD studies in the philosophy of sport is a term we use a lot. And so if I can pursue like my arete, then I've done what I need to do on the day. So obviously, like top three is worlds, and then the resume spots after that. And I'd love to, be in contention. And we'll just see how it all kind of shakes out.
Wow, it's an amazing answer, and I'm totally stealing that arete phrase.
Well, it's okay. You're not stealing it from me. You're stealing it from the ancient Greeks, so we're good.
That's right. We're good. We're good. Oh man, let me ask you this: if it is the day that you want it to be, and you have an amazing day out there, what would it mean for you to make Team USA?
Oh, I mean, I've been on Team USA 3 times now. The 2019 World Mountain Running Championships, the 2019 NACAC Mountain Running Championships, and then the 2022 World and Trail Mountain Running Championships. Being on Team USA is like one of the greatest honors of my life. There is nothing quite like wearing your country's like uniform and being able to be a part of that team. So it would be incredible. Always grateful for an opportunity to wear a Team USA jersey. I know that regardless of who makes that team, it is going to be one hell of a team. Like
Oh yeah.
it's going to be absolutely incredible. And I think that there's a lot of peace in knowing that whoever makes the team is just going to absolutely crush it at Worlds, and that's super cool. And to even get to be a part of that on Saturday, whether or not I'm on that team, I'm just super excited for that opportunity.
No, I love it. Is there any, I mean, this might be a hard question to ask and maybe a little redundant, but is there any like experience, because you are so experienced, like, man, you might have one of the best resumes like from a Team USA, like going into this 46K, which is
Oh,
kind of awesome.
thanks.
Is there any, what experience like do you think you could like pull on to like have the day you want? Like, is there, I know that's kind of a hard question.
Yeah.
I didn't want to throw you that one, but like,
No.
I don't know, like it's kind of crazy that like you've competed at the highest level, like the highest level of our sports. There's got to be something there, you know?
Oh, yeah. And I mean, I can think of, oh man, I learned so many things from so many different races. I think in these, granted, I know that the Broken Arrow 46K is not quite an ultra, but in this ultra-esque racing, a lot of things can happen. And I've had some really rough races. I was in the in 2023, I was in the Verbier Marathon. It was a UTMB qualifier, and I just started projectile vomiting at like 12 miles in,
Oh my gosh.
and I couldn't stop. And so like I was like trying to still eat and drink because I was like, holy shit, I still have 18 miles to go, and or whatever it was. And I was in a really rough place and somehow still finished the race. And I was in a low spot for a really long time. I remember coming up to the last aid station with like 6 miles to go, and I see my mom, and she doesn't know how it's going. And I'm like, I'm not having any fun. And then I proceeded to just projectile vomit in front of her, like over the bridge crossing. Basically, point being is I hit some really low points in races, and I think the biggest thing I've learned is it's not if it's going to happen in these ultra races, it's when it's going to happen. I think we all hit those, and I think it's just whether we can work through them. So I'm going to definitely lean on those experiences I've had, and just knowing that like it's never going to go the way that you exactly expect it to go, but that doesn't mean it can't be its own beautiful experience. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just, again, just super excited for the opportunity. Um, and I think a lot of ultras are just, yeah, it's about troubleshooting as you're going and whether or not you can process through that. So, like, I've been in races. I remember, man, in the Moab Marathon in 2021, I didn't feel good until mile 19. So,
It's a long way
and
in.
then, yeah, it was super far in. And I remember that race started and everyone got out so fast. And I'm like, do they know we're running a marathon? And but I just worked like I think halfway I was like maybe in 10th, and then like I worked my way up, and the only person then at, I think at like mile 19 who was in front of me was Allie Mack. And I was like, oh shit. And then I felt good for the next 5K and then felt like shit. But so like um yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be fun, and it'll be an adventure regardless.
Yeah, no, no, the doubt. I love to hear some of these like race stories. That's good stuff. Ellie Mack's a good friend of mine, so it's always fun to hear like war stories from these races.
Yeah.
What else? What do you got planned for the rest of the season? What else are you doing besides the 46K?
Yeah, so I'm pacing Aaron Clark at States. So I'm
Nice.
so excited. I've actually never been to States in person before. I've always watched the live stream. So to be able to experience that in person is going to be amazing. And then to help a friend while we're at it, like I can't think of anything better. And On is sponsoring TrailCon, so it'll be really cool to just be there for the whole week. And so we'll have, yeah, pacing Aaron. I'm not sure exactly if I'm doing like the 16 or 18 mile leg for her. And then I have OCC at the end of August. I
Okay.
probably won't actually race after in between Broken Arrow and OCC just because I work at a running camp and the Steam Mountain Running Camp in Oregon,
Yeah.
which is the middle 2 weeks of July. And so we have like a fun camp race up there that I do each week. But with just some of the different travel I have going on, I probably won't race and just get in some really good training up in the mountains. And yeah, so it's gonna be super fun. Like once I leave tomorrow, the summer just doesn't stop, and I'll be in Chamonix from like July 31 through September 1st. So I'll have a
I'm
full
so
month there.
jealous.
I know. I told myself last year because I was like there 2 weeks before OCC, and I could just tell like over the course of those 2 weeks, just like again, I felt like I approached my training smart. I didn't go too crazy or anything. So it's easy to do when you're in the Alps, but I just could feel like my legs adjusted to and my body adjusted to being in those mountains and on the terrain. And I was like, oh my God, like imagine if I spent just like a little bit more time here and how much better I could feel. So yeah, and my whole like all the on humans are gonna be out there. We're like kind of all rented out the hub. And so it's just gonna be an on party, which will be great.
Nice. Oh yeah. No, you guys have a great team too. I mean, I've talked now to David Norris. I know Jeff Colt from a previous team. Like we were on the Ultimate Direction team together back in the day. So it's good people. Like and Kilgore's an interesting cat. So very cool team you have there.
Yeah,
listen,
they're
Sam,
phenomenal.
yeah. Oh yeah, big time. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. Wishing you the absolute best best of luck on race day, and it's going to be so much fun to follow along.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. What's up, guys? It's summer, and you know what that means. You're going to need a new pack, hydration solution, bottle, belt, you name it. Guess what? Ultimate Direction's got you covered. Guys, I don't know if you've been perusing on the Ultimate Direction site lately, but we've got 2 new vests that have just dropped. That's going to be the Ultra Vest 12 liter and the Race Vest 6 liter in 2 beautiful colorways. And you know what? Guess what? We also dropped a quiver. Finally, the quiver is here. The quiver is there. Get it on the website right now. Use code SteepStuffPod for 25% off. All of these things are already extremely affordably priced. I think Ultimate Direction does an amazing job at their pricing to make it affordable for athletes of all economic abilities. And guess what? You're going to get yourself an additional 25% off by using code SteepStuffPod. Like I said, it's summer. It's Broken Arrow week. It's crazy. That's the vibes are high. The stoke is high. You're going to need a new vest. You're going to need a hydration solution. Like I said, go to Ultimate Direction. They've got you covered. 25% off with the code SteepStuffPod, and you are all set out the door. So, guys, enjoy your week. It's Broken Arrow week. Go crazy, go wild. Guess what? Next week is TrailCon, and then we are in Western states. This is the best few weeks of our sport. So, it's wild. Woo!